Welcome back to Just a Bit Offside. I'm Fish.
Gator.
It's week 13, the recap show. A lot of drama last night, Monday Night Football. We'll get to that. Heartbreaker for us in fantasy. We'll be talking about that more later in the week in our week 14 prediction show, but something we have to touch on as well. So let's kick things off right away. Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
What was the game?
Buffalo, New England.
Divisional and good game. Buffalo took it.
Yeah, they took it. Yeah.
I don't think the Pats put up too much of a fight.
Not really. 24-10.
And also with our recap shows, every week we do predictions. And so we'll tell you how we tallied and who came out on top with our predictions this week. Who picked that game?
You actually took the Patriots.
I did.
I think you took a flyer.
Took a flyer on the Patriots.
Yeah.
So you get a point for that one.
Yeah.
And I have a 9-point lead.
I think it's something like that. I'm not even sure. I don't pay
I
attention.
think it was 10, but then you were up 1 last week. So I think B Money will throw that up for
9?
us.
All right, I can live
I think I had a 9-point lead going into this week.
All
So
right.
you get that one. What were some of the interesting stats for that game?
Nothing crazy. Josh Allen,
Yeah.
223 yards, 2 TDs. He only rushed for 20 yards, which is good.
It was held back a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. He rushes too much. Mac Jones had 195 yards, 2 TDs. The usual. James
Yeah.
Cook, 64 yards rushing, 41 receiving for Buffalo. That's nice.
That's good, yeah.
Diggs had a touchdown, 92 yards. New England did not have much going on. They only had 60 rushing yards. It was all Stevenson. He had 54 of them.
Stevenson is a beast this year, so.
They put up 195 yards. That was about it. Nothing
Yeah.
was really going on.
Buffalo
Buffalo's
took
D-
it down.
Buffalo's D. Yeah.
And Buffalo takes on another division rival, the Jets, coming up in week 14. So that'll be interesting. So you get a point for that one. Buffalo, easy win. All right, on to Sunday football. Who is up first in the 1 o'clock hour?
We got the Steelers and the Falcons.
Nice. Now, we both, in our prediction show, going for week 13, we both picked the Steelers to upset the Falcons. Like, we were both pretty excited about the Falcons being this bad and really on Mariota.
Yeah.
Did we both pick the...
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't think it's an upset because Atlanta's kind of
Yeah, but I think the Falcons were a 1.5 favorite.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And at home, so technically it is an upset.
True, they were.
So the Steelers on the road, and the best part about that is, one, we called it. We kind of knew, so we both get a point for that one. We knew the Steelers are better than they kind of look on paper, and it was really more not about how good the Steelers are, but how shitty the Falcons are. So we both kind of called that. I'm glad that we did, because I think the Steelers, and don't get me wrong, they're not mathematically eliminated yet. And Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record as the Steelers head coach. Big Ben retired. It did not look good this season. I mean, they upsetted the Bengals in week 1, but then the Steelers have been pretty garbage.
Right.
And you and I had the foresight to realize that the Falcons are so terrible that they could win this game.
Yeah.
And now it's looking they're at 5-7. They could end up 500 or better, depending on how they do these last couple weeks, because it really was looking like Mike Tomlin was going to have his first losing season as a coach for the Steelers. But hope is still alive. They could even snag a wild card spot.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
They're in last place in the AFC North, 5-7, tied with the Browns, who are also 5-7.
Exactly. And then they're taking on division rival, the Ravens.
The Ravens without a Lamar Jackson.
This coming week. So if they were to somehow, and I believe Pittsburgh is favored.
They are favored by a couple points.
2.5?
2.5, yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
So that is a huge game. If the Steelers pull that out, go to 6-7, move up in the division, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
All right. Well, I like it.
All right, some of the stats from the game?
Nothing crazy. Kenny Pickett, 197 yards. Mariota, 167.
He's horrible.
Yeah, he's not great.
He will not be starting for the Falcons or maybe any team next year.
I don't know who they're going to get, but
Najee
Harris had a great game for Pittsburgh.
Nice.
6 yards rushing. And Atlanta's the usual thing. Cordell Patterson, Algier pretty much carry the load for them.
Yeah.
So and then Drake London throws 95 receiving yards. That's pretty much the core of what they got going on.
He's a good rookie.
Yeah, Atlanta's got pieces. They just don't have anybody that can throw the ball. That's all. That's the thing. I don't even know who the backup is to Mariota, but can you imagine?
If you're choosing to start Mariota over him?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, anyways.
Yeah, it's the Falcons suck.
Yeah.
So we both picked the Steelers, even though the Falcons were 1.5 point favorites at home. So we were both smart about that. Next up in the 1 o'clock games, the burger, horrible, horrifying, terrifyingly bad Denver Broncos. I mean, they're so bad. They're so bad. I don't think Russell Wilson's going to throw for another touchdown this season. They only put up 3 points. Am I correct? 1 field goal?
No, 9 points.
9. So all field goals, though.
Oh, yeah.
Three field goals.
Oh, yeah.
Taking on the Ravens. The most important thing in here was quarterback Lamar Jackson went down with a knee injury.
Yeah,
Early, so it was very, very skeptical whether they could even pull this one out. Luckily, they're playing the Broncos because they are just that bad. Tyler Huntley went in for Lamar Jackson, and he had a decent game, and the Ravens ended up pulling out this win, again, because they were playing the Broncos. If you're playing anybody else, I don't think they would have won. But the Broncos are just bad. You had an interesting story. Apparently, one of the defensive players chewed out Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I just can't remember his name. I feel horrible for their defensive line.
Yeah.
Because they are beasts. Right now, the top 3 right now in the league, 49ers, Eagles, and then Broncos.
Yeah.
They're they're allowing 305 yards total. Yeah. 185 receiving, 120 rushing. Like they are, and putting up 17 points. It's a crazy defense.
Good defense.
After getting rid of Chubb.
Yeah, Bradley Chubb, yeah.
And then Russell Wilson's like, I don't really think this is the year of touchdowns. I don't like it. I'm going to try to win the game totally on
field goals.
That's it, you know, because I don't want to do any more touchdowns. You know, my arm's sore, and I'm good.
We had to ditch every single Denver player that you could possibly have on fantasy football because there's no way they'll ever get touchdowns. No. Like Cortland Sutton, we had him, traded him. Yeah. Can't have him. It's just Denver is so bad on offense. The head coach is going to get fired.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Anyway, the biggest news here, Lamar Jackson went down with a knee injury. I don't know if you have stats on Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, he had 187 yards, 1 interception, 2 sacks. But he had 41 yards rushing, and he ran in the only TD of the game. So he
played good.
He played good, and you got the only touchdown, so you're laughing. So.
Now, they are saying Lamar Jackson's injury is not season-ending. It's days or weeks, so that's good for the Ravens, who are still in the lead in their division.
Yeah.
But just absolutely, like, there's no way. We both took the Ravens in this game?
We did.
All right, because the Denver's just horrible.
Oh, yeah. And the funniest thing this week, in week 14, is the Broncos are facing the Chiefs on NBC. Sunday
No, they flexed it.
Exactly. NBC called up Goodell and said, that. You flex those motherfuckers back to the 405 because we're putting in a game that people actually want to watch.
Could you imagine that game? Yeah. Like, now, again, you mentioned it, Denver has a great defense because otherwise you're thinking 68-3.
Yeah.
But Denver does have a good D, but it's going to just be the Chiefs are just going to they're going to run a train on the Broncos.
Yeah, they're only favored by 9. I don't even know what that is this week. It's in Denver, I guess. Maybe
still
going to give them some home field or whatever. But
it's still 9 points is being generous, but
that's so embarrassing though.
Yeah, you got flex. You got flex. If I was Russell Wilson, I would be embarrassed by that because They said enough. Like, they had so many Denver primetime games, Monday, Thursday, Sunday Night Football. Yeah. So many, thinking that Denver was going to be hot.
Yeah.
And now they're flexing a different game and getting the Broncos out of primetime, and the Chiefs are just going to annihilate them.
Well, it's funny, too, because Mad Dog is constantly talking about what's the NFL going to do in the later weeks of this month because there's so many good games.
Yeah.
What games do they flex? Do they flex into more of a primetime spot? Now, he's saying that because there's a lot of unbelievable matchups that have huge consequences.
Yeah.
This was only being done because Denver is a steaming bag of horse. And nobody can even... People just are crying when they watch Russell Wilson. They start breaking and just start their tears of just like, what did we do?
They actually
He's still owed like $210 million. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
His buyout, he even said openly, I'll take a buyout for $180 million cash. And they're like, they debated it. They're like, we got it. Let's do it.
I'll tell you the biggest thing quickly because we got to move on. But the biggest thing that Denver needs to do, fire the head coach, give Russell Wilson a few more weapons and a better offensive line. But their defense is great. They released Melvin Gordon. They do have Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. I like Denver's receiving core, but you need a new head coach. You need to stiffen up the line. But you need somebody else calling plays because Hackett, literally just that. He can't hack it. He's got to get out and let Russell do his thing. But he needs some help. Like, it is embarrassing how bad the Broncos are in offense. All right.
I just find it weird. I just feel like I'm not crapping on Wilson. Maybe I'm a little bit. But, like, he just seems to have lost his confidence.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
Wouldn't you?
Well, I guess so. But it's like at the same time, if you're going to be a Super Bowl winning, MVP quarterback, veteran with a massive $250 million contract riding on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Then you got to step up, and I can understand losing your confidence, but man, it's not looking good, and it sucks because, there's a lot of people picking you guys to win the AFC at the beginning of the year.
Nope.
A lot of people.
No.
A lot of people that know what they're talking about. Not like me. I mean, people that
professionals
really know football were saying they could see them winning the AFC.
All right, next.
Yeah. I got the Packers and the Bears on here.
Ayo.
In Chicago.
The Bears look good early.
They did look good. We were down 10-0.
The Bears, I thought were gonna take this one. Did Fields play?
Fields did play.
Okay, so that explains that. But then the Packers turned it on.
Yeah, I had
in the second half.
I had the DAZN app on. I was just working away, watching it kind of in the background.
Yeah.
I'm going, all right. And I'm like, what the hell? We're down 10-0.
Now,
in the first? Come on.
The biggest takeaway from this game, to me, is Christian Watson.
Oh, I know.
Rookie wide receiver for the Packers. He has had 8 touchdowns in 4 games. Yeah. 8.
Yeah.
He had 2. He had a rush and a receiving touchdown in this win over the Bears. The Packers not eliminated yet. So there's still hope for K-Dog's favorite team.
Yeah.
It is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible. Right now, their division, the Vikings, are in first place. Yeah. But they are actually underdogs to the Lions, which makes no sense to me in week 14. So let's say that happens. Let's say the Detroit wins.
Okay, so they go to 6 and 7.
Packers are on a bye.
They're 5 and 8, so they're on a bye.
They're not mathematically eliminated yet.
But here's our last 4 games.
Okay, I think it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they got the Rams.
Defense.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Then they got the Dolphins, the Vikings, and Detroit.
Oh.
And Detroit's sneaky.
They are sneaky. I think that's why they're favored over the Vikings, even though that's crazy because the Vikings are 10-2.
Lions smoked the Jags this week.
They did smoke the Jags. They put up a lot of points.
I don't trust the Lions. I don't trust the Vikings. And those damn Dolphins.
Those damn Dolphins, Pal Marino.
I think we got the Rams, though. Did the Rams.
Yeah, you beat the Rams. All right, we'll see how that plays out for the Packers.
The Packers' run defense sucks, so Akers is going to get a ton of yards.
You never know.
Just saying. Anyways, we won't get into that.
All right, so who picked 2 in that game? I believe you probably picked your Packers.
I took the Packers.
I took the Bears.
Yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, Packers looking good for next season.
All right.
A.J. Dillon had 93 yards and a TD, plus 26 yards receiving.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
It was good to get him in the mix because it's been a lot of Aaron Jones lately, and A.J. Dillon is such a solid back. It's like, why aren't you double teaming?
Yeah, Aaron Jones kind of took a back seat to 26 yards rushing and 24 receiving, so it was kind of like they were flipping back and forth, so it's nice. And then Christian Watson, of course, did his Christian Watson.
He is killing it. Absolutely killing it. He is in the running with maybe Olave from the Saints for best rookie wide receiver. Drake London's in that conversation, but Watson and Olave have more TDs. But offensive rookie of the year?
Could be.
Could be Watson.
He was hurt for a bunch of games, so that's the only thing that's going to hurt him.
Does that hurt when you're averaging 2 touchdowns a game for the last 4 games?
True. True.
All right.
Anyway, Chicago put up some good numbers. I mean, they should be better than they are.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bears are 3-10, but whatever, it is what it is. So there you go.
And Packers were favorited, so that was good for them to pull out that divisional win, and you get a point for that game.
I do.
Next, Jags, Lions. We were just talking about it.
Yeah, Lions 40, Jags 14.
Brutal.
Packers and Bears both on a bye coming up.
Oh, okay.
Didn't say the Bears were on a bye. We're talking about the Packers
Cool.
on a bye. So, yeah.
Jags looked terrible.
Yeah.
I don't get it because they're Jekyll and Hyde, man. Like, the Jags will play really good one week and then just get annihilated by a shit team the next week.
The week before was the game where they went down and went for the 2-point conversion to win
won.
the game. You know?
Yeah, and they won.
And then they go to Detroit and they forget how to play football.
They just got beat.
They're still celebrating the last win.
The Lions were a 1-point favorite at home, so it really was a coin flip. Who picked who in this matchup? Did I take the Lions?
If I'm looking, you took the Lions.
Yeah!
The Jags like an idiot.
So, fresh off of that win last week, why not, right?
Yeah. And I just don't like Jared Goff.
So, Lions, I get a point for that one. Any interesting stats in the game?
Well, Jared Goff did have 340 yards, 2 TDs, and 2 sacks. Pretty decent.
That's pretty good. No interceptions?
No.
Nice.
Trevor Lawrence only had 179 yards.
That's bad.
For the most part, I mean, it was... it was a good game. I mean,
nice.
for the most part. St. Brown for Detroit.
He had 2, didn't he?
2 TDs, 114 yards receiving.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah, the Jags didn't have much going on, really, receiving 185 yards, and Christian Kirk had, 104 of those.
He's all right.
He's all right. Other than that, Detroit really dominated this game.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that story.
And the Lions, who do we say they're taking on this week? They're actually favored, the Vikings.
Taking the Vikings on, and the Jags are playing the Titans, and that probably will be a good game because the Titans are playing like ass.
Yeah, the last couple games for the Titans haven't been good. Mm-hmm. All right, next up, Texans, Browns. I have a lot to say about this game.
All right, I skipped a page, so I'll go this way. Texans, Browns. Okay, let's go. Texans, Browns.
I am livid.
Okay, here we go.
Livid. Mm-hmm. Deshaun Watson is a piece of human.
Okay.
Like, as a person.
Okay.
Just saying he has made questionable decisions in his life. However, he's one hell of a football player.
Okay.
Coming off of his 13-game suspension for very inappropriate activities.
Okay.
Getting to start, you're like, okay, Jacoby Brissett, who's been playing extremely well, goes to the bench. They're paying Deshaun Watson too much money not to start. They start him. We picked him up in a super late round flyer on the fantasy draft, stowing him away for what would be the last couple weeks of fantasy. And then the playoffs, we're like, you know what? He's going, and this was by design, the NFL, facing his former team, the Houston Texans. So that's why it was a 13-game suspension.
Yeah.
And he's going to go off.
Yeah.
He's going to show this is what I've been, why you paid me. I'm facing a horrible first round draft pick overall garbage Houston Texans team. My old team, I'm going to throw for 7 touchdowns. Like, I'm going to go off. He was rustier than a trombone.
There you go.
Hey-oh. He played like garbage.
He hasn't played in like 2 years.
He was so rusty and just got us absolutely garbage fantasy points.
Yeah.
I just super disappointed with Deshaun Watson, both as a human and as a production value for the Cleveland Browns. Now, don't get me wrong, they won the game.
Well, it was the Texans.
But it was the Texans. Any other good team, you would have lost. What were Deshaun Watson's stats? Because they couldn't have been very good.
He had 131 yards.
Garbage.
And no TDs.
Perfect.
An interception. And a sack.
I think the Browns, they got a defensive touchdown.
Probably.
I could have sworn I saw that because they took the lead. I think they took the lead with the defensive touchdown. Anyway, Houston, you're lucky you're facing Houston, but I'm super pissed off at Deshaun Watson and your performance. You're getting paid how much? $250? All guaranteed? $256?
No, I think it's $240.
$240?
$230.
But 100% guaranteed money. Like, you're just disgusting amounts of money to play like that when you come back from your suspension. Just horrible.
Yeah. Well,
garbage.
He's going to have a nice eye-opening weekend coming up because they're playing the Bengals.
Oh, divisional?
Divisional, and the Bengals are going to spank.
I can't wait to talk about the Bengals Week 13 game coming up in this show because they played extremely well. So good luck, Deshaun. You're going back to the bench, and we're starting Geno Smith in fantasy for Week 14.
We don't got to talk about any of the stats.
Suck.
We don't have to worry about the stats.
Okay.
Texans got the Cowboys coming up, so that's a big L on their schedule.
And we both took the Browns for our points. Okay.
The only thing that I thought was interesting is Cleveland right now is third in the AFC North. The rest of their schedule, they play the Bengals, Ravens, Saints, Washington, and Steelers. So the schedule's not horrible.
Three divisional matchups.
Bengals is going to be the hardest one there.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, if they win 4 out of 5, if they lose to the Bengals and they win the last 4, that'd be 9 and 8. Is that enough for a wild card?
I don't think they're going to win those 4. Not the way Deshaun Watson's playing.
Put in %.
I would put in. Well, there's the problem. You're paying him too much money. You can't. But right now, Jacoby Brissett looks way better than Deshaun Watson did.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett's getting like $1,800 a game.
I think it's probably more than that.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Jets Vikings. Is that next on our list?
I can go there.
Sorry, I'm just going by the sheet.
Yeah, that's probably an easy way to do it. I didn't go by the sheet. I don't go by it. I make the rules. All right, Jets Vikings. This game was actually good.
It was good.
I was into this game.
I was
going back between this and the Packers game.
Mike White actually took over. Last week, they benched Zach Wilson, deservingly so. And Mike White had a great game. Threw for well over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, Mike White put people in their place. So he started this game against the Vikings, who were favored. Vikings were a 3-point favorite. Jets on the road. They didn't win, but I feel like the Jets are better off with Mike White than Zach Wilson.
Oh, yeah, but it was close.
It was a close game.
They were on like 4. It wasn't 4.
Wasn't it a defensive stand right at the goal line at the end of the game? So the Vikings won based on their defense, stopping the Jets in their tracks.
I can't remember if it was an interception at the goal line.
Or a knockdown.
Knockdown.
It was.
Like
they
that.
did. I do remember that.
But it was like Mike White had 369 yards. Like he looked good. He
looked good.
No touchdowns. No throwing touchdowns.
But they rushed.
Yeah. But and the Jets defense is like number 4 in the league. Right?
They're good. They're solid.
Team, so. Yeah, the game was good. The Vikings again get another win. Not playing great. Now they're 10-2, just spanking the shit in my division.
Yeah.
And they just don't look great. Like even Dalvin Cook had 86 yards and a TD. Justin Jefferson only had 45 yards.
Yeah.
And that's the Jets defense right there.
Yeah, it's Jets defense.
He didn't get a touchdown, but Hawkinson had 33, Thielen had 27. So they kept the receiving yards down. Jets D did their job. So, yeah. And, like, honestly, there was only Cousins threw for 173 yards. Minnesota averages 234 yards receiving.
So the Jets D did their job, but the Vikings defense stopped the Jets on the goal line there to finish that game.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson did have 162 yards.
He did.
Receiving.
Yeah, he did. He had a good game.
Yeah.
Who picked who in that game?
I took the Jets. You took the Vikings.
I'll take that one.
Vikings because they can burn in hell.
That's because that's coming straight from a Packers fan. All right. So I get a point for that one. Giants, Washington. Now, you'd think that would not be a good game.
Yeah.
But it actually, the Commanders were a 1.5-point favorite on the road against a better divisional team to face, the Giants, and it ended in a tie. So
overtime.
In overtime.
Of course, well, it had to be overtime.
It had to, yeah.
That's done. It would just be like tie, Applebee's.
They don't even do a coin flip.
Everybody get to Applebee's.
Let's go.
Riblets.
Riblets.
Starts at 4. Let's go.
All you can eat riblets.
And they're like, I'm down for that.
Oh, yeah, I get some riblets.
Get some riblets?
So, yeah, it ended in a tie, which is making the NFC East even weirder and more competitive.
Yeah.
All the teams are above 500. If the playoffs started today, and I don't know if this has ever happened, maybe something we can Google and put up the stat.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time where all 4 teams from one division make the playoffs? Because I think that's rare. But if you started the playoffs today, that would happen with the NFC East. The Eagles, of course, in first, and Cowboys are playing lights out. and Giants and Commanders would be getting wild card spots.
Yeah.
So
the Giants are playing the Eagles this week.
That's right. That's a huge game. So if the Eagles do their job beating the Giants, which they should, because I think the Giants are overrated. I actually think the Commanders are a better team. Okay. The Commanders would is their record tied right now with the tie?
No, the Commanders are 7-5-1, but they're on a bye this week.
They're on a bye. So if the Giants lose,
even Steven,
and then if they must have faced each other earlier in the week, or earlier in the season, or they faced each other again towards the end of the season.
I don't have it.
Either way, it's going to be really tight finish. The Commanders could technically move up, forcing the Giants down low, but all 4 teams potentially could make the playoffs from this one division.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Good game, though. Heineke, 275 yards. 2 TDs, he was sacked 5 times.
That's too many. That's too many.
Daniel Jones, 200 yards, 1 TD, 4 sacks. Too many.
Too many.
Other than that, Washington, 165 rushing. Brian Robinson had a 96. Big game for him.
He's good.
Receiving, Terry McLaurin had 105 yards and a TD.
Yeah.
And Dotson, we got Dotson here.
Dotson, we've got Dotson here. See, nobody cares.
He had 54 and a TD. I actually wrote Jurassic
Park. Was that?
That's
that Jurassic Park?
I wrote that down there.
That's Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight. We got Dotson.
We got Dotson here.
Yeah.
With the shaving cream can bit? All right. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And New York, for the Giants, I thought was funny, is Daniel Jones led the team in rushing. Not Saquon Barkley.
Not Saquon.
Yeah, Daniel Jones had 71 yards and Saquon had 63, which I thought was a little strange.
I think the Giants are overrated. Heineke is starting, even though Carson Wentz is healthy now, so that tells you how much Carson Wentz is favorited by the Commanders coaching staff.
Washington dominated this game. I mean, total yards, 411 to 316 for Washington.
Yeah.
Time of possession was 41 minutes to 29 minutes. Like, Washington...
They should have won that game.
And they got a solid defense.
Yeah.
They got a solid defense. They're allowing 20 points a game, and this ended up at 19, right? Oh, 20.
I was 20.
2020, yeah.
2020.
So, 2020. So,
yeah. All right. Next up, this is my favorite game of the week.
I took Washington.
Oh, you did?
You took the Giants.
Oh, so it's a push. We don't get any points. This is my favorite game. Actually, no. The 2 games at 4 o'clock were amazingly so good, much better. Mm-hmm. But this was my Eagles taking on the Titans. I was very nervous going into this game for 2 reasons. The Titans defense and Derrick Henry. But the Eagles dominated. I think it was 35-10.
I'm just trying to find my notes on it.
And it was absolutely just a annihilation. Everybody scored for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts rushed one in. It was just, it was...
I'm getting enough. I've had enough of this Jalen Hurts showboating, 350 yards, rush for 100, blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
blah.
How many touchdowns did he throw for?
I was happy to see in this game, and I know all of you were too, because the internet blew up.
Okay.
We finally got a look to see a sexy piece of man candy strut out on the field named Gardner Minshew. Yes!
In garbage time? Maybe. Because they had a 35-10 lead.
Maybe he went 1 for 2 and 11 yards. That's 50%.
I love Gardner Minshew, actually. When he started for, was it the Jags?
I think it was the Jags.
And he had the mustache. I love Gardner Minshew. He has a great mustache.
He is pimpilish. Anyways, it was 35-10. Titans got their ass kicked again. Tannehill is...
I think it's Tannehill's...
He got sacked 6 times.
The Eagles'
The Eagles' defense is like number 3 in the league. I was writing down the defensive stats. They're number 2 in the league.
I'll take it.
2 in the league.
San Francisco has to be number 1.
San Francisco's number 1. They're only allowing 75 yards rushing. That's crazy. Tannehill, 141 yards of TD and 6 sacks. So
and I don't think Derrick Henry got a touchdown. Do they hold Derrick Henry to no touchdowns?
Yeah, he only had 30 yards. Actually, Tannehill had more rushing yards than Derrick Henry. Dogs and cats
living together. I don't get it.
What is going on here? Jalen Hurts, of course, goes for 380 yards, 3 TDs, 2 sacks, Everyone in the stadium was pissed though, because if he would have got to 400, it was free corn dogs for everybody.
Yeah, corn dogs.
He only had 12 yards rushing, so that's good because Jalen Hurts likes to run a lot.
But he did rush in a TD.
He did rush in a TD. Yeah, so there you go.
He was lighting it up.
Yeah, but
so Eagles moved to 11-1.
Oh yeah. Also, we didn't talk about AJ Brown having 2 TDs.
He had 2 TDs.
AJ Brown is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
so,
he's awesome.
Yeah.
Just an insanely good game. I was nervous because of the Titans D and Derrick Henry, but the Eagles pulled it out. Number 1 team in the NFC and their own division, obviously. I am just gearing up for Christmas Day or Eve, Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
They face the Cowboys.
That's going to be a game.
That's going to be
a game.
An insane game. Who are the Eagles playing in Week 14?
Giants. We just talked
the
about
Giants. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
So,
and the Titans are playing the Jags.
All right. Well, the Titans will probably win that one.
I took the Titans on this one.
I'll take my Eagles.
No, you did take your Eagles.
That's what I mean. Every day, all day, every day.
And I lost again.
Yeah. So that's a point for me.
I'm seeing a pattern.
And the Eagles played really well. Now, these games at 4 o'clock were all good.
Yeah.
These were great games. Seattle was at the Rams. Now, Stafford, he's out. Cooper Kupp, he's done.
Yeah.
Surgery.
Yeah.
So, really, it's the Rams defense versus teams. And
Cam Akers.
Cam Akers is good. Cam Akers can play.
Is solid. He's solid.
But the Rams defense is really good. So I was a little nervous about the Seahawks. I actually like them this year. They're doing really well. Geno Smith is in the conversation for MVP. I don't think he'll win, but he's in the conversation.
Not anymore. But he
playing really good and proving that he should be a starter. And I believe Geno Smith should be a starter in this league. He played really well, and they actually pulled out a really nice win here against the Rams.
Yeah, he had 367 yards, 3 TDs, interception, and 4 sacks. Rams were up. I thought Seattle was going to lose for a bit there.
Yeah.
John Wolford had 178 yards, no TDs, 2 interceptions, and 4 sacks.
Not good.
So that's some good numbers there.
I've never heard of John Wolford before Stafford going out with a concussion, and he's probably going to go back to the bench at the earliest convenience.
Yeah. It was nice, though. I mean, Tyler Lockett, 128 yards and a TD.
DK had a TD.
DK, 127 yards and a TD.
He sure did.
Noah Fant.
Yeah.
Noah Fant.
Tight end.
Font. Is it Font or Fant?
Fant.
Font.
Fant.
Yeah. It's a Pam.
It's a Pam.
42 yards on TD. It was a good game. Seattle played well. Cam Akers, like I said, had 60 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah.
So without Cam Akers, they're done.
Yeah.
Tutu Atwell.
Sorry, his name is Tutu.
Tutu had 48 yards receiving.
I believe he is. Yeah, he's
Jefferson.
a wide receiver for the Rams.
For the Rams.
Tutu.
Yeah.
His parents love him.
And Van Jefferson.
Yeah.
Van Jefferson.
That's a great name too.
That's an awesome name.
All right.
Yeah. So he had 39 yards in the loss.
Now, who picked who? I'm sure I took my Seahawks.
both took Seattle.
We both did?
I couldn't take the Rams. I couldn't take the Rams.
I don't blame
like
you.
Akers, though. He was out for what, like 6 games?
He was out for a little while.
Yeah, so that's probably another reason why they didn't come out the gates too good. So yeah.
Now, the Dolphins, who need to catch up to the Bills, were on the road with against an NFC like juggernaut right now, the San Francisco 49ers. Now, you'd think the Dolphins have an advantage here because the first play of the game, your guy, Mr. Handsome, Jimmy G, breaks his foot on the opening play.
That sucks.
San Francisco 49ers are like, like first play of the game, but they dominated. I don't know how the Dolphins expect to win the AFC if Jimmy G goes down and you don't take advantage of it. It wasn't even close. Like I was flipping back and forth between that game and the other great 4 o'clock game, the Bengals Chiefs, and I stopped. I just went straight to Bengals Chiefs because Dolphins just got blown out.
Yeah, Brock Purdy came in for Jimmy G.
He's Purdy. He's not as Purdy as Jimmy G.
No, not as Purdy as Jimmy G, but he played pretty good.
Yeah.
210 yards, 2 TDs, interception, and a sack. And I mean, he looked pretty good. Tua, 295 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks.
2 interceptions is too many.
But it was the 49ers D.
Yeah.
Their D stepped up to the plate, held them to
Bosa.
33 yards rushing. That's it.
That's
Mostert
gross.
had 30 yards. I mean, Tyreek Hill had his usual 146 yards and a TD.
The huge.
It's Tyreek Hill, right?
The huge.
There's nothing you can do about Tyreek Hill. And Trent Sheffield had 75 yards and a TD, but Tyreek Hill's going to get 150 yards either way, no way around it.
Well, the problem is the good thing the Dolphins have going for them, though, is you double team Tyreek Hill, then you're leaving Waddle open. Yeah. So you really you have a really tough assignment if you're trying to guard. So one of them, I think Waddle got injured.
Yeah, he got injured. He was out.
So Tyreek Hill went off again, but honestly, they just couldn't keep up. What was the final score of 49ers?
33-17.
It wasn't close.
They say it's going to be okay for the 49ers. I feel so bad for Jimmy G because now people are talking about we feel bad for Jimmy G. There's a very slim chance he'll be the starting quarterback for the 49ers. It's like, what else does this guy have to do for you guys? He has to break his foot, and then you're like, sorry, Trey Lance is just waiting to come back on again,
Trey Lance was horrible. I like Jimmy G better.
Yeah.
But if they can win with a game manager, like if they can keep Purdy in check, if he's going to be doing it, and just, get it to McCaffrey, short passes, defense wins the game.
With their defense?
Yeah.
With McCaffrey, Debo. And Ayuk?
Yeah.
And then their defense.
Yeah.
Their defense is they're allowing 284 total yards. 208 yards rushing and 208 yards receiving, 75 yards rushing. They're the number one defense. You're not going to run against us. It's all there is to it. So I think they're going to be okay. This week though, they're playing the Bucs.
That'll be interesting. We'll talk about why that's interesting coming up when we recap the Monday Night Football game later in this show. Who took who in this game?
If I'm correct, I took the 49ers.
Oh, all right. You get a point there.
Win for me.
All right. Now, this next game was so good.
Yeah.
The Bengals were at home versus the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored 2.5 points. And the Chiefs were the Chiefs. But then the Bengals came back, and it was super tight. And the Bengals ended up winning. They played really good. They stopped Patrick Mahomes.
The Bengals are looking really good, man.
They've been looking good the last couple of weeks. Joe Burrow had a game.
Yeah. They are looking good.
Let's see some of the stats, and then we'll dive deeper into the game.
Joe Burrow had 286 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions.
That's amazing.
Mahomes had 223 yards and a TD. So, Mahomes didn't have a great game. I felt like he was trying to go for it too much.
Yeah.
Should have gone for some shorter passes.
He got sacked a little bit more than he usually does. Usually he can scramble and then get rid of the ball, and I think he took at least 2 sacks.
I think there's a couple of them, I haven't written down, but yeah. In terms of the overall game, Kansas City rushing, 138 yards.
Pacheco's playing really well.
Pacheco had 66 yards rushing, 16 receiving, and he had a touchdown.
He's playing good.
Kelsey had a bit of a quiet game. He only had 56 yards, no TDs.
Yeah.
Juju had 35. Marquise Valdez-Scantling had 71. They led the team.
Nice.
But for the Bengals, it's all about Perrine.
Yeah, Perrine's playing really good. Yeah.
Is he a rookie? I think he is a rookie. No, maybe.
No, I don't think he's a rookie.
Whatever. He had 106 yards rushing and 49 receiving. Looked pretty good. Burrow also ran in a TD.
He did. Yeah.
So
he's on our fantasy team.
Yeah, he had 46 yards rushing, Burrow. Way to go, man.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase, nice game too, 97 yards. So
it was nice. Good to have him back. I actually think that was the TSN turning point, if you will, was having Jamar Chase back.
Yeah.
So you have another weapon out there instead of just Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
And Burrow took advantage of it. Jamar Chase had a couple of them. Yeah. Really good catches.
Yeah. Still no Mixon though.
No Mixon.
Wait till he's back.
But Perrine played.
Yeah, wait till he's back, So the question is, can they take the division? Because now the Ravens and them are both 8-4.
Yes. I feel like if you could beat the Chiefs, then you can win this division because Lamar Jackson's hurt. They only won that game because of who they were playing.
Yeah.
Who are the Ravens playing in Week 14 again?
Steelers.
The Steelers. And that's a tough game. The Steelers are actually favored. And that's divisional.
Yeah.
So, Cincy, you pulled one off. No matter what, even if they don't win the division, let's say the Ravens somehow pull this off.
Yeah.
I honestly, my balls are telling me that the Bengals are going to take this division.
Yeah.
And the other person will get a wild card.
Yeah.
So the Bengals in the playoffs, if you can beat the Chiefs, you have a shot. Absolutely. They went to the Super Bowl last year, and it should be noted that the Bengals are on a heater when it comes to the Chiefs, dating back of all of 2022, even last season going into the playoffs.
Yeah, January 2nd of this year, Bengals won 34-31. And then the conference championship on January 30th, Bengals obviously won because they went to the Super Bowl, 27-24 in overtime. And then they just beat the Chiefs again.
Yeah. So 3-0 versus the Chiefs in 2022. The Bengals are on a heater. Right now, they're looking just super good. Yep. It'll be exciting to watch. I can't wait for playoffs.
You took the Bengals.
I took the Bengals?
I took the Chiefs. I can't bet against the Chiefs.
Woo! I took a flyer on that one, actually.
Bengals are looking good.
Because I never want to bet against the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Bengals got the Browns this week, and the Chiefs got the Broncos, like we talked about before.
Hey-o.
There you go.
All right, one more 4 o'clock game before we get into the 2 primetime games. Mm-hmm. We had the Raiders as a 2-point dog at home after a couple of really good wins. Yeah. They're taking on the Chargers, and they won this game.
Yeah,
they're on a 3-game winning streak.
Yeah,
Devontae Adams is finally playing like a man.
Oh, Devontae Adams, 177 yards, 2 TDs.
I think that's back-to-back weeks with 2 TDs for him. Yeah. Derek Carr playing really well. Josh Jacobs playing really well.
Josh Jacobs, 144 yards again.
Yeah.
TD. Now he's leading the league in rushing, almost 200 yards more than Nick Chubb.
Wow.
1,300.
And Nick Chubb had a quiet game, so
that's insane.
He is playing lights out. So are the Raiders, who are making a playoff push. Mm-hmm. They are in the wild card hunt, even with their not so good record, just based on just everybody else. So the Raiders, if they can, who are they playing in week 14?
They're playing the Rams.
The Rams. So you can win that game
Thursday night.
That'll be a fun game to watch, and the Raiders could be on a bit of a roll here if they can beat the Rams.
Yeah. If they do, that moves into 6-7. Chargers are playing the Dolphins this week. Yeah. So that's not an easy win.
No.
Herbert had a good game. He had 335 yards and a TD.
I love Herbert.
But he got sacked 5 times again. So we're going back into that. Let's sack the crap out of...
that happened earlier this season.
Yeah, it's not great. Derek Carr, 250 yards, 2 TDs. LA is kind of a mess. Austin Eckler had 35 yards and rushing, 67 receiving.
Really quiet game for him.
100 yards altogether, though. And Keenan Allen, 88 yards and a TD. Love Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I like Keenan Allen.
So, the Raiders could make a push here.
They could.
Definitely a wild card could definitely be in there.
It would be really interesting. They're finally playing up to their potential with the new head coach, and you got... Devontae Adams this season, so... Yeah,
that actually moved him into 4th for receptions. He's only 26 yards behind Diggs right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, slow start. He had
slow start,
games where he didn't have anything going on, so yeah.
So that'll be interesting. Who picked 2? I believe you took the Raiders.
I took the Raiders.
Yeah,
I always took the Raiders.
Damn it.
All right.
So you get a point for that one.
All right.
Now, Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football were both exciting games. The Cowboys... I don't even know how much of this we really need to cover.
Yeah, I don't know how exciting it was.
I mean, exciting as far as it was just a show. It was
like at the beginning they had the helmet and the smoke, and the Cowboys ran out from the helmet. That was exciting.
It was exciting up to halftime. The Colts looked like they were in this game. Okay. And then the Cowboys, who I hate as an Eagles fan, but much respect, scored 33 unanswered points to shove it to Jeff Saturday and Matt Ryan, and the Cowboys moved to 8-4?
8-4, yeah.
8-4, second in the NFC East.
9-3,
sorry. 9-3.
9-3, yeah. Sorry.
9-3. Yeah. Absolutely, just 33 unanswered points in the second half.
Yeah, so rushing too.
Ezekiel Elliott had a garbage time TD as well, just to drive it up to, what did they score? 54 points.
54-19.
Gross.
Pollard rushed for 91 yards, 2 TDs.
Pollard's awesome.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb had another 71 yards and a TD. Yeah, it was crazy. And the Colts have a pretty good run defense. Yeah. Usually, but not on Sunday.
Nope.
So 220 yards. easy 220 yards against Indy.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Exciting as the fact, like, it was a good Sunday night game, but then the second half, it was just a dog and pony show there. The Colts couldn't do anything.
Yeah, we both took the Cowboys.
Oh, that's good. Smart.
Dallas playing the Texans.
And I hate betting on the Cowboys.
I know, but you have to.
I hated it, but it was the Colts.
Indianapolis is on a bye. Bye, we mean bye-bye playoffs.
Bye-bye playoffs.
And that's the end of that.
All right, this is worth noting. Monday Night Football was actually an exciting game.
It was.
I was on the edge of my seat more for fantasy purposes because we had Mike Evans. I don't even want to. I don't even. We'll go into it in the prediction show.
Yeah.
Hearts were broken. It was the closest loss we've ever had in fantasy.
We took it right in the face.
To that beautiful son of a bitch Palmerino. We lost by 0.14.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, we lost by like a tenth of a point.
Yeah.
You get 1 point for a catch, by the way.
Yeah.
So Mike Evans had 4 catches for 59 or 1 more yard.
Yeah.
You get a half point for a yard.
Yeah.
That would have done it. We lost by the slimmest of margins. And anyway, we'll talk about that in our fantasy recap in the prediction show. But I was on the edge of my seat for that reason. But it looked early like Tom Brady played absolutely horribly in the first half. I mean, there were so many drops. The passes were like over people's heads.
Yeah.
Garbage. Like, it looked really, really bad. And the Saints were up early. Brady had an interception. Taysom Hill had a touchdown. He had the first touchdown of the game. And you thought the Saints are going to be like, and this is divisional, and the Saints could actually make a push because every single team in that division is below 500. The Falcons just lost. So you beat the Bucs, you got a really good chance. And the Red Rocket looked good. It just didn't happen. You know what happened? Tom Brady.
Well, the Saints have a decent team.
They do.
Olave is great.
Yeah.
You know,
Kamara,
Ingram.
Yeah.
They got a good team. But also the Bucs have a strong defense.
They do.
So they kept them to just 66 yards rushing, 250 yards in the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all Tom Brady in the fourth quarter where he said, "I've had enough of this shit. Now I'm making my push for the Super Bowl like I did 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We got out of our bye. We had that loss last week.
Yeah.
We got to bounce back off this." 16-3 Saints with 5 minutes left in the game.
You think the game is over. The Bucs only have a field goal to their name. And Tom Brady's like, 5 minutes? 2 touchdowns?
Yeah.
It's doable.
He looked over at Todd Bowles and said, "Gonna Mahomes this and he said, "Do it." All right.
So Brady, I couldn't believe Julio Jones had this one catch. Hopefully we could show that clip towards the end of the game. Julio Jones had an insane catch. And then it was right at the end. They were needed that one touchdown. There's no time left on. They actually had a penalty call.
They scored and had it brought back.
And Tom Brady went, "Oh, come on, I gotta do this again."
Do it again.
He actually said the Danny Glover line from Lethal Weapon in the huddle. "I'm getting too old for this."
Yeah, they caught that on.
And then he did it again. Was it to Godwin, I believe?
It was Rashid White.
For the win. I think the Godwin one, it was the one that got called back.
Yeah.
And the Bucs wins by a point, 17-16. Tom Brady's just the GOAT, 7 Super Bowls. I don't even know what to say. Their record is horrible this year, but they're leading their division. So that means you automatically go into the playoffs.
Yeah. Brady knew exactly what he was doing.
He was just, I got it.
No, but when he went to the
Clock
Bucs,
management.
When he went to the Bucs,
he
knew exactly what he was doing. He's like, this division is just going to be dog. I know I can make the playoffs every
Doesn't
year.
matter.
They're 6-6, and now the Falcons are 5-8.
Yeah, the Falcons lost, and now the Saints lost. So it looks like the Bucs will win this division no matter what. With this win and the Falcons losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. So honestly, the Bucs in the playoffs, I actually heard a very interesting conversation on Mad Dog Sports. Danny Canal said they had Lane Johnson from the offensive line from the Eagles. And they're like, who would you not want to, like, do you think about that, like the matchups and stuff?
Yeah.
Even though the Bucks record is horrible, do you really want to face Tom Brady early in the playoffs? Because literally something like this could happen where you're losing that game and he just goes, you know what, 2 touchdowns in 5 minutes to win the game.
Yeah.
All right, I got stuff to do. Like let's just get this done.
Well, the thing is with the Bucks, they got a great defense.
Yeah.
And they've got weapons all over that goddamn team.
Yeah.
So all they have to do, and I heard this as a saying, any given Sunday.
That's true.
They literally, it's one game, and all of a sudden everybody's clicking. Because Mike Evans and Brady have not been on the same page.
No.
But once they get on the same page, you're all okay? They are going to light you up.
But they still have Julio Jones.
And Godwin.
And
Fournette. And come on.
And White.
It's crazy. Or she White. How do we
it sucks that Cameron Brate is out, but the other tight end, Otto, OTTO, he had a decent game. So the Bucks never count out Tom Brady. And a special shout out to Wayne Chauvin, who comments on every video we do about the GOAT and the Bucks. And this is our tip of the cap to the man. He did good. The Bucks played well.
And they're playing the 49ers.
And that's gonna hurt.
This one will be interesting.
That'll be interesting. Yeah. But again, the Bucks could lose the last couple weeks. They're gonna win that division.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So and then anything happens in the playoffs.
So bad.
Atlanta's horrible.
Atlanta's on a bye this week, but I mean,
horrible.
Atlanta's still Atlanta.
So the Bucks, they're
6-6.
6-6, taking on the 49ers, and the Saints are on a bye.
They're on a bye
as well. So really, good on you. Who picked who in that game?
I think the Saints are going to be good next year. I mean, the Saints are just having a year.
Is the Red Rocket the answer though? Probably not. Right.
But it also doesn't help that Michael Thomas is out.
Yeah, they
definitely hurt.
He was back this season and then got injured again.
Yeah, so it doesn't help.
Who picked?
I took the Bucks.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, because you like the Saints.
I did like the Saints. Yeah, I like the Saints in this game.
You're a Taysom Hill kind of guy.
And I was right for 90% of this game.
Yeah. So Tom Brady said, "Not today."
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, so those are all the games in our season-long predictions. I was up 9, I believe. Mm-hmm. How did we tally this week?
11-10 me.
Shut the front door.
So I got one.
All right. Yeah. So I believe if I'm wrong, B-Money will tell us in the graphic. Yeah. So I have an 8-point lead. Okay. You got a chance to make it up in week 14. So make sure you tune in to our week 14 prediction show that will air here on our YouTube channel before Thursday Night Football kicks off. And who's kicking off that game again? It was Raiders-Rams? Raiders-Rams. So that's going to be a good game.
In LA.
Looking forward to seeing if the Raiders can make a playoff push. The Rams are not going to make the playoffs. So
no, Rams are definitely not making the playoffs.
No.
I think the Raiders have this game.
So I think so too.
Yeah.
So we'll do our official predictions coming up this week. For this video, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out Just a Bit Offside on Instagram for more fun content as well. Until next time, I'm Fish.
Gator.
We'll see you again soon.
Peace.